One of the things that I think about most these days is how to make the transition from being a freelancer and kind of a self-employed into a position of a business owner. And I came to this kind of a framework of thinking after reading the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, which I recently read, actually listened on audiobook. For a long time I've heard about this book and I didn't want to read it, maybe because it has kind of a sleazy name, or I don't know. But I actually got to reading it and had few big insights from reading it, and it kind of turned around my thinking about a few things, which I think is very important. I actually read the follow-up book called Cash Flow Quadrant, and this book actually made me realize a few things. So the first one is that when you're working alone as a freelancer or self-employed, or even in a very small team like I do in Prospero and the New School, you are kind of limited by how much you can work, how many output and productivity you yourself can have, and there's a limit to that growth. Plus, if you're sick, if you're not showing up to work, if you're on a maternity leave, then things stuck because everything depends on you. And if you want to grow both, personally and financially, then you need to actually start working with other people, delegating, and replacing yourself. So I realized that in order to do that, and in order to do that well, there's two kind of critical skills that I'm missing. So the first one is actually what they call financial intelligence, and that means actually understanding more about how money works and accounting and stuff like that. And that stuff is pretty boring, but actually if you want to make a lot of money, if you want to own a business that makes money, then you actually have to understand how those things work. Cash flow, assets, liabilities, tax, how those things work. So I need to learn that. Even though I'm not super excited about learning this, I need to do this. The second thing that I understood that I need to learn is actually kind of a management skill. And that means kind of how to be a leader, how to hire people and manage them, and have them do great work. So I've decided I should start with those skills, learning how to manage people. And the way that I went about doing this is asking people, how should I learn it? With the books that I should listen to, with the podcasts that I should listen to. And I'm very happy that I'm part of a kind of a Facebook group for startup people in Tel Aviv. So I posted the question there, and it's a really big community. And my post there kind of became very popular. I got like 80 comments with people really giving me kind of management tips and leadership tips and how to be a great boss, and also recommended me books, podcasts, stuff like that. So I've got a couple of books on my reading list, which I will read soon and share the knowledge with you. But so far, I've already started to listen to a super great podcast called Manager's Tool, which they have like 500 episodes of this podcast. And I've been listening to it while I'm on the bicycle, and it's been really, really great. And I think I learned a lot from this. So I'm heading out to lunch right now. I had a kind of a deep session doing web design work, but I'm heading out to lunch right now to grab lunch with a friend that I haven't seen for a while. So I'm gonna take that time to actually keep listening and learning about how to do delegation, how to do one-on-one with people that you work on, and try to increase those skills and become better at it. Right, so it's been pretty fun lunch with my friend Eden, which I haven't seen in a while. And then I went to my client's office to have a session with the designer that I hired for them, which is actually a pretty good practice for my management skill. She's actually not my employee, she's the startup's employee, but I'm her manager, and we're having kind of sessions 3 times a week, so it's great practice for me to manage other designers, and I feel like it's been going actually pretty well. I'm super satisfied. I feel like she's growing, she's doing a good job, she's actually better than I expected, so that went pretty well.
After that, I had like a 1-hour phone call with the production studio that we hired. I don't know if you remember, I told you a while ago, I'm doing a video for one of the startups that I'm working with, a different client, and I've hired kind of a production studio. Then it didn't work with the first studio that we hired. We had to find another one, and now we're kind of a little bit late over our due date, so I'm a bit stressed. We had like a phone call about the script, and I had some feedback for them. I felt like they were pretty defensive and like resisted every feedback that I had, which kind of made the phone call a bit stressed. But yeah, learning how to give feedback to the people that you hired is also kind of a managerial skill that I'll have to learn. I'm doing the best I can, but I'm sure that I have a lot to learn and improve in that way. And I really hope that this video will come out fine. After all, I chose to work with them, so it's my reputation. I hope it will work out for the best. Anyway, heading home right now, doing some shopping, hang out with the kids, and then probably a little bit more that I'll have to do later on today. It's a bit of a stressful time. So hope you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you tomorrow.